is that?
Welcome to the eLife Power Lunch with Dr. Baruch and Chris Murray. I am your host, Chris Murray, and I'm here with the one and only Dr. Baruch.
Hey!
Hello, hello. How are you today?
Very well. How are you?
I am wonderful, and more wonderful because I'm smelling something delicious cooking next door.
Yes.
Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant, guys. If you don't know about it, you need to know about it. But we're not here to talk about it today. We have two very special guests that are going to be joining us for our discussion on promoting health, wealth, and knowledge of self in one power-packed hour of inspiration and information.
Great, great.
So let's meet our guests for today. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. If you don't mind, just give us your name.
I'm Ronnie Lucas, and I'm president of Platinum Dynamic Institute.
I'm Reverend Jean-Claude. I'm president of Jatuki Providence Group, LLC.
Very nice, and I'm so appreciative for you guys taking out some time in your day to join us. We always like to start out with a hot topic discussion, and a few weeks ago we talked about buying black because it was that Thanksgiving week and just the importance of doing that. I want to know, since you guys are in the international space, how important is that in terms of being international, building relationships outside of the United States and supporting one another across the oceans?
That is first and foremost. I mean, it is first on my agenda is to start to think, just to come out of the box and stop just feeling that businesses have to be localized, because that's not the case. And I think that is very much true with people of African descent, in particular the African Americans. We've kind of I've been indoctrinated just to do things that are right around here for those who do get into business. But if you look at the rest of the world, if you look at all other people, you can see they're all over the total diaspora conducting business. And as I mentioned, it is first and foremost on my behalf to start to indoctrinate those who are here, who are interested in entrepreneurship, especially internationally, to look outside of the U.S. And in particular, I have a focus presently in sub-Saharan Africa.
Awesome, thank you. And I know that, it's something that's very interesting to me, because one thing that I believe we forget oftentimes is that we're all connected. We think because we're from this part of the world or that part of the world, things are different, and that's not the case. The language may be different, maybe there are a few different customs, but we're all connected, and so I think that's very important. And I thank you guys for coming to share your experience. How about you, Dr. Baruch?
Reverend Jean-Claude, the information that I got when I was in college about Africa was all negative. Mm-hmm. Everything that could be said negative, from bones through the nose to, swinging from trees to, the list goes on of all kinds of negative things, so that when I was at Lincoln University and there were African students being brought in, I already had this preconceived negative disposition. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah, I don't even like you all. Y'all need to sit together and y'all need to hang out with one another, because we ain't one of y'all and y'all ain't one of us. And we realized years later that we were being played from the middle, that somebody was telling us that we were these negative, these things. And I'm sure you got a plethora of negatives about us here in the United States of America. And I would say that was before we even got into the real negative space. Now we've made it a reality, unfortunately. But back then, when there was no evidence, I'm sure that impacted the business culture, in that you didn't want to do business with somebody who was all the things that you knew about us, and we didn't want to interact with you all at all. So how has that impacted business, and then what are we doing to change that in a country that now wakes up and realizes that the very people who were giving us all this false information are the ones that are really doing the damage to us?
I can explain to you by using the model of a computer. In order for a computer to work, you need to use a software in order for you to get the output you want to get the job done. I can say that at that time they were putting inside of you some kind of software which didn't want you to understand what was really going on in Africa. Because for us African, we take you as our brothers. We know that you came here for a reason. Maybe some people can consider all the negative things which happened in order for you, our ancestors, to come in this country. But I like always to help people to go back to see what happened with Joseph. His own brothers took him out, and they thought that by selling him, it was to stop him making his dream happen. But it was impossible for them to stop him. Even when he was sold, he still became the governor in Egypt, and he's the one who saved everyone in Egypt. Mm-hmm. And I'm always telling our brothers and sisters in the US, I say, you came here for a reason. At that time, it was important for you to come and learn all those knowledge about technology, about infrastructures, about finance, everything. Mm-hmm. And this time is a time when everyone is trying to come to Africa to get the resources of Africa. You don't need to be blind anymore. Africa is your land. Our ancestors are your ancestors. And that's why now we need to build this bridge so that you must be the number one investors investing in African projects. Let me just take this model of Congo. Congo is the first country in the world with 23 trillion of natural resources on gold, mine, diamond. Wow. And think about all the computers you have, all those electronic things you have on your hands. In order for them to make it, they need to get the coltan. And Congo have 80% of the coltan, reserve of the coltan of the world. Why not you can come back on your own land, get a piece of it? Yeah. Because all the people who told you about the negative, they are the ones who are there in Congo, making a lot of money. When you are seeing the Congo as a jungle, they are making a lot of money, and they are the millionaires and billionaires in this country. Why you cannot come and join Congolese in some of the projects so that we're going to do a win-win game? And you will feel that you're going to be a millionaire with the money coming from your own land.
Wow,
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ready to go.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, we just finished the conversation about, the system and how, we're tricked and this, and you just saying that just opened up my eyes to the fact that they're cutting us off at the root. I was thinking just about here, my mind, just a show ago, I was just thinking about that, the way our government this and our city that. What you're saying to me is that they have cut us off at the root by giving us that imagery once again that, oh, no, you don't want to go there. That's not a good place to go. When they're, like you just said, they're over there, they're getting rich. This is amazing. I'm sorry, I have to take a minute and think about that.
Let me jump in before you go in. That I've gone to 4 African countries, and I haven't gone to Congo yet, but it's on the list, and I have to get there. But I noticed every time I went to these African countries, the plane ride in was full of people that didn't look like me. The plane ride out was full of people that looked like me. And I was like, this is incredible. What is going on? I mean, and we're talking about, and there's some countries, and you all probably know it. If you don't know it, you should do some research on it and check it out. Namibia is like the gentrified African country. They are gentrifying Namibia by taking the price of real estate, taking the price of homes, just like they did in Washington, D.C. They acquire, and I'm sure they're doing it all over Africa, but in that area we see such a high concentration, and we're seeing this flip there on the continent. And you're absolutely right, Reverend, that we have to get in a position. We have to begin to position ourselves, to strengthen our hand, to link arms and recognize that we do have a common interest. We are the same, and we can work together. We can rewrite and now get rid of all this negative and put this positive in place, because truly what's hurting you is hurting me, and the person that's hurting you is hurting me, and if no other reason, we need to come together so that we can begin this campaign. Yes, sir, Brother Ron.
Yes, I just want to make this interjection. I've done research to try and get a determination as to where did most African Americans actually come from the continent, and to my discovery, what I found is 29% of African Americans came right from the Congo Angola area.
Wow.
Now, if we're talking about Congo being the wealthiest country in the world based on resources, as Father John Claude said, we're talking 23 to 24 trillion dollars. The next closest country in the world is Saudi Arabia, which has oil, and their oil reserves will amount to about 16 trillion. But again, for African Americans to take an interest in Congo, to start to invest, and it doesn't just have to be Congo. I happen to be speaking about that particular country because 29%, according to my research, of us actually came from there. You're doing nothing but returning to the wealth that you left behind.
Mm.
Yes, indeed, and I look forward. You know, you all were talking about a trip in February, and I look forward to figuring out how I can be a part of a trip. You know, and I'm not looking for the. I don't want the trip where you go on the tourist. I don't want to see all the tourist sites. I want to see the people. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to be a part of the people. I want to learn what's going on. I want to connect with the people. You know, I want to buy some land. I want to build a house on it, so I got a place to go the next time I go over there. You know, these are the things that I think we need to start looking at. And I know you all being entrepreneurs and having that vision, you know, you all can relate. So I look forward to further dialogue, and hopefully you all can come out and dialogue with the folk here at eLife Media. When we have different events on Wednesday nights, we bring people in to speak on different subject matter. We'd love to have you come in and talk on this, because otherwise, if we keep getting CNN, CBS, and ABC's translation of what it is that's going on the continent, and you know, we see the atrocities that happen in the European countries, and they get so much attention. It's so much attention. But these atrocities that are happening in the uranium mines and the other mines there in the Congo, you know, attention needs to be brought to that, and that's something that I'd love to bring the attention to. I'd love to go over there with my camera so I can say, look, this is the deal. Right. And you know, I realize that there's a bunch of guys with guns standing around me, but you know, I don't know. I don't have the same kind of fear that other people have. I feel like we need to bring attention to what's going on, and I even think those that are with guns and are protecting the wrong people, those that are protecting the wrong people, at some point they come to the conclusion that, you know what, you know, I'm tired, and I realize that I'm hurting myself, and maybe it's time for me to change.
Right, absolutely. So I want, if you guys don't mind, I want to jump into what you do, because now my mind has shifted a little bit, and just being able to expand it to see that, you know, again, I always say it, and it's like I'm almost a victim of my own thinking, in that, you know, I talk about people not leaving DC, you know, and never seeing anything else when there's nothing stopping you. You know, what is there to say that I can't, you know, leave the U.S. and go and do business in other countries? So I'm interested in learning about what you all do. Can you tell me a little bit about your company and what you do?
Sure. First, you know, I mentioned I'm president of the Platinum Dynamic Institute, which happens to be a training company based right in Washington, D.C., metropolitan area, and it provides unique courses and workshops that encompass an holistic mind, body, spirit approach to achieving greater success in life. Now, areas of focus happen to be real estate investing, business development, and self-improvement. What I've done is taken that a step further. If you know, my background for more than 30 years has been in the field of real estate as a professional, real estate investing, real estate brokering. The fervor for the business has kind of shifted a little bit, and I think maybe it was the universe speaking to me. And for the past 3 years, what I've done is I've put together another company called PDI Global Products and Services, and that is a marketing and consulting company that actually represents primarily U.S.-based companies that manufacture and distribute renewable energy systems, clean water systems. They're capable of doing real estate development projects and agricultural type businesses. And that's where I am at this particular point.
Wow, that's incredible. That's huge. So you're, again, the level of thinking behind what you're doing is something that we're not used to, and so I'm so glad that you're here to share with us today.
I want to jump in there, because alternative energy is what I'm about. So I'm in the, you would think that I'm in the food business, but this is really alternative energy business. And that we are now getting our energy, our fuel, from an alternative source, which used to be the main source, but again, because somebody slipped in and decided to redefine what was and what wasn't, we now think that eating from the land is strange and bizarre. And what's that, broccoli? No, give me some fried chicken, you know. That we've got to get back to that. But also, I remember it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was on one of the local TV stations, national networks, and I was driving my grease-powered vehicle in the parking lot, which was powered from the grease that comes from the cooking of the food here at the restaurant. And it was so. What was so interesting about it is the number of people who didn't know. You know, I knew about it, and I knew that whole world and how everything worked. I was able to do my own conversion of the vehicle, and I thought about, wow, just imagine if you did this in a country like, well, at that time I was thinking about Sierra Leone, and later on I was thinking about Tanzania, where the fuel price was like $15 a gallon for the fuel.
Wow.
I said, now, can you imagine if they go out back, because, you know, everything grows on the continent. I know you all know it. It grows without you even trying to do anything. It just grows. And you're able to then express the oil out of it and put that into your vehicles and power your vehicles for free, as opposed to $15 a gallon. How much further could you go? You know, and how much more resources could stay in country as opposed to that are going out to Europe or the Middle East or wherever it's going. You know, so I'm very interested in furthering that conversation. Father John Claude.
And my company is Jatiki Providence Group, and I want you to have to understand about my background so that you have a good understanding of really what's going on in everything I'm doing. I'm a Catholic priest. I became a priest since 2000. I was working in a very remote parish in Congo where I had 200 villages. And the last one was after 80 kilometers. I didn't have a car, I didn't have a bike. I was walking for 6 hours to go and say masses in different parishes. But when I was sent to this parish, some of the friends told me that, do you know that this is the poorest parish where you're going, and you don't have a car there, you're going to be starving, and this is going to be difficult for you to do the work you're going to be doing. I said, no, you don't understand. I have been sent as an instrument of God, instrument of providence, so that I can go and think together with the people on the ground, so that we can make a big difference in the area. And that's what I did. Going to a poorest parish, when I was living that parish, it was of one of the richest parish, because at that time, when I went without a car, I bought a big truck, which now was helping people to improve the production of agriculture, to improve healthcare and education. And I made a big difference, and it's there that I created also my nonprofit organization in 1999, and in 2004, this nonprofit became a U.S. organization where we are able to create what we call eco-villages. And when you speak about green, that the model of the eco-village, and I went to many training here in the U.S., and one of the biggest one we had at the University of Boulder at that time, where we were thinking about green building, and biodiesel and everything. And finally, after many years that in Washington, D.C., we could hear about green, about all of that, but I was among the people in the U.S. who are already working on bringing a lot of green stuff, and in the Congo, we are creating eco-villages. But now, let me say that I decided to shift more from the non-profit side to the for-profit side. Mm-hmm. People can ask me why. With the non-profit side, the work I have been doing was to work with my people in 3 programs: a healthcare program, education program, and eco-village program. On the health program, our goal was to help children who were orphans by creating orphanages and helping them to go to school, taking care of them and doing everything, and also we're providing hospital equipment to clinics and hospitals in the Congo, and we're creating infrastructure in communities by building those eco-villages. But finally, I told myself, I said, it doesn't make sense for me to be taking care of the children when their own parents don't even have a job in a country where you have a lot of resources. Now, I had been able to do the assessment. What made people poor in the Congo? And I understood finally that, yes, the politics was one of the problems, but the economy was that infrastructure of the Congo didn't help the Congolese to think big. What do I mean? You don't have bank system in the Congo who could give people loan in order for them to make their dream happen by implementing some good project in the Congo. And in order for us to succeed, I was able to think with people. And I'm very happy that here today at eLife Media, you are discussing, you are discussing with us on that. With my friend and partner, Mr. Ronnie, we understood that in order for us to help the people of the Congo, we must help the people of the Congo by working with their friends and brothers of the U.S. That's why we created what we are calling the Sankofa Alliance.
Okay.
What does it mean? Someone who has project, a gold mine in Congo, is not able to buy equipment in order for him to attract those gold. If he goes to a bank in Congo, he has no answer to his request of loan. What we do, we get investors in the U.S. and we bring them in a joint venture so that someone who never dreamed in the U.S. to become a mining owner or concession mining owner in the U.S., now he has a concession of mine in the Congo by going to this joint venture.
Right.
And that's where we're going to help the people to really make happen what we call buy black. Okay. Because those black who have some money here in the U.S., they can invest in the gold mine in the Congo. They're making more money, and with those more money, they can create more infrastructures in the U.S., and they can create new businesses and give new jobs to black people who are here. Right. But also what? You have a lot of expertise in the U.S., which are not used in the U.S. because you don't need it.
Right.
Guess what? We need those expertise in the Congo.
Right, right. Oh.
That's why we need to build this. We are building this bridge so that we can use your expertise, work with you on different projects we have in the Congo, so that we play what we are calling a win-win game.
Right.
And Dr. Bahut is speaking about having a land. Guess what? A governor is giving us a land on a lake so that we can build a new city. In some way, you will not buy. They will give it to you because they know that by going there, you're going to create jobs.
Right.
Yep.
And you are welcome to come and work with us. And also, my dream, I'm telling you, and I believe that's going to happen one day. The eLife media will become one day the BT of music. But now, what the eLife media are going to be doing, helping people to know more about Africa.
Yep.
And what BT is doing in music, eLife Music going to be doing it on the knowledge of Africa, and we're going to build together a new story. Right. And that story is going to be a positive story, and together we're going to play a win-win game so that we can make a big difference in the life of people in Africa and here in the U.S.
Very good.
Yeah, that is outstanding. Can you tell us a little bit more about how this alliance works? And I mean specifically, is there a certain qualification that you have to be a part of it? Can I call all my cousins and say, look, we going to Africa. We going to, we going January, we packing up, and we're going to go set up this new city. How does it work?
Okay, actually the Sankofa Business Alliance is, what that is the initiative to connect the people of African descent for the purpose of doing business.
Okay.
Now, there is some training that I recommend, I highly recommend, and it is offered through Platinum Dynamic Institute. And one of the workshops is called Kunga. It's a Kunga program. We have a Kunga Economic Business Retreat. In our business retreat, we actually have dignitaries, entrepreneurs, politicians who come from the Congo and take part. They're there. And so for the ones who are here in America, if they're participating, it's a lot of information. What we want to do is to change the mindset, first of all. We got to get them in the right mindset so they're not thinking. There's a terrible narrative that exists, and Dr. Baruch mentioned that earlier. This narrative has to be destroyed.
Yeah.
It's a false concept. I hear people saying, what hurts me to my heart is when I hear a brother or sister here in the U.S. saying, well, I can't do business with Africans. They don't like us. Or if I'm like speaking to one who's from the African continent, they're asking me, why do African Americans don't like us? And to me, it's mind-blowing simply because I've been an international person for a long time. I've been fortunate enough to be able to live in Japan. Like numerous trips to Brazil. I've been to about every continent that there is, here, in the world. And I've never had a problem in dealing with anyone, but that really hurts me. So part of the training is to overcome the negative conditioning that presently exists. And then in addition, there's a lot of very antiquated business models that exist. Mm-hmm. And we're going to tear those down. I do have a background. My educational background happens to be in business management. I have a bachelor's, master's degree in business management, and I started on a PhD in entrepreneurship. And so, from a theoretical perspective, pretty good. And from an actual, I would say a practical perspective, I've been an entrepreneur for a number of years. So that's what I want to do. I want to take the knowledge that I have, and I would say that a lot of my education has come outside of the classroom. For instance, there is a person here who's local, Dr. Claude Anderson, and he talks about powernomics. I incorporate powernomic principles, and they are taught. I introduce those to those who attend the workshops. They need to understand that. And I would say by connecting back with our brothers and sisters on the African continent, it is taking that powernomic principle, it's like taking it and putting it on steroids. Yeah. It's like it being on, having a turbocharger connected to it simply because of the leveraging factor. I mean, you can take money here in the U.S., you can make investments, and if done appropriately, you can have a decent outcome. However, if you take that same energy, if you take the dollars, if you take the mind power, if you take the physical exertion, and now you invest it in places such as the Congo, because the outcome, is just so much greater, it's exponentially greater. And so that's what it's all about. These are the things that are being taught in the workshops to develop a special breed, I would say a special group of entrepreneurs who have what it takes to come over and to partner, to have an understanding about raising capital, about how to conduct business, about what to think, and a lot of other things we already have, because I can tell you between Father Jean-Claude and myself, things that have already been presented to us from, as he mentioned, the governor, through other governors, the ability to go over where they'll actually give us land, where we could just develop. And one of the ways in which that works is we develop, but you get to be the recipient. You're the one, when I'm saying we as a group, a collective group, will be the ones who will be the recipient of what is being generated, all profits. At some later date, it might be deeded over to the government, but there's so much that can be generated between that point and later on. And also other things that have been provided to us has been like lumber. I mean, whether or not you know it, the Congo is home to the second largest rainforest in the world behind the Amazon. A lot of people don't understand that. Now, a lot of that forest land is protected. It's actually owned by the world simply because of the greenhouse effects and ecology. And, with the trees and everything, you use that to kind of balance things out. However, there's still a large portion of it that is unprotected. And we have one governor who's actually, we're waiting right now for documentation to come in where he's actually giving us this land. And all we have to do is to put together the technology and the actually business component of it, where we will actually go into a lumber business. From the lumber business, what we'll do is we will sell the lumber. 50% of the profits will go back to the government there. They get to use that money to help develop infrastructure, things that are needed, and the other 50% is profit that comes back to us. So these are the things that we have. That's kind of what my training is offering. And I'm just excited about everything that I see at this point.
That's great. That's great. And this training that is taking place, does that happen stateside?
Yes, it's stateside. One of the issues that we kind of run into is with those in Congo is them getting the visas to come over. We've conducted a session already. We have right now as we speak, we have about 12 there's a delegation of about 12 to 13 that are supposed to come over. These are mainly entrepreneurs. We have one governor who's basically wanting all mayors and staff to come in and attend the training. But for right now, what we have is a mini mansion that's down in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's on the beach that we would be utilizing. And we're working, with another partner who's there, who's a former delegate to the White House on small to mid-sized business conferencing. So she has a lot of things that are there. Now, what we have to do for 2017, if there are still issues with those in Africa getting the visas, which is necessary for them to come here, then I've identified locations in Belize, Costa Rica, and I'm also interested in Cancun, like Cancun, Mexico, would be alternative locations where training would be provided.
Is it realistic that you could do the training over the internet, saving some resources or do you really need those people to come out of the country?
I think the impact would be much greater if it's done live. However, I'm also looking at that and working on having a virtual training model. As we speak, that's being worked on. But I think the efficacy is much higher if they can actually come live. And also if they come, now for those who are here in the U.S. already, sure, you don't have to go. It's very easy for you. All you have to do is come here. It can be done live, or we can even do it virtually. It makes it a little easier. But for those from the continent who want to, partake of the training, not only are they getting what's in the classroom, but we have tours. We have certain things that have been structured that we make available to them. Like mining is big in the Congo, so one of the reasons we're conducting down in Wilmington, North Carolina is because they actually have mines that are in operation right now, and so we get to take the people over and they can actually explore those and see the way things are being done here in the U.S. today. And there are some other, like Wilmington, North Carolina, again, it's right there, it's on the Atlantic Ocean, and so, for the ports, for being able to export and doing things of that nature. And I want to mention one other thing here while I'm speaking is one of the entrepreneurs who happened to be in the last business retreat, we were able to work out something very special with him through our alliance down in Wilmington, and that is, he happens to be a peanut farmer. One of the issues that's in the Congo is the infrastructure. In other words, as Dr. Brew, you mentioned, you can probably throw seeds down on the ground and they'll germinate and grow. But the problem is, how do you get that product to the next location if infrastructure doesn't exist? So while the country will be in the process of developing infrastructure, developing roads and things of this nature to be able to transport, what's being developed, what's being worked out is down in North Carolina, where they used to grow a lot of tobacco. Now tobacco is kind of weaning out, and there's a lot of farmland that's being unused, and we have a situation that has been worked out where there's over 50,000 acres of land that used to be used for growing tobacco. Now those agricultural businesses, those farmers who are there in the Congo would be able to come, lease that land, grow their products here, and we can even take it to another level of having them actually canned or whatever with their branding and everything. And those products grown in the U.S. now, but for the Congo, it can actually be shipped back with that farmer's branding already in place.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty exciting, and it's good to see that we're maintaining those connections and we're supporting business development there on the continent. We're seeing a lot of people coming from other places, China and other countries, Europe, and of course America, coming in and taking over and kind of not really supporting the growth and development of those countries. And it's good to see that you all are working to develop not only, the talent that is there, the infrastructure that is there, but the economic development that is so important there. It's good to see that this is a part of what it is that you're doing, and this is a part of the training. So I'm excited to hear about the work that you guys are doing, and I look forward to hearing about, this trip to the Congo, and learning more about that. Maybe it's not the best time, maybe it is, maybe you just go anyway. And when I look at it myself, I think about, wow, it's time. It's time that I start looking at other frontiers for whatever my vision is going to be. It's time, whether it's, as Father John Claude said, let's open up eLife Media, eLife Music, Africa, that we there are on the continent and able to separate all of that negative music, all of that negative information, and just broadcast positive information there about us, and likewise from there here about you all. It provides for us a very powerful medium, and we look forward to exploiting in a good way, exploiting all of the opportunities and possibilities so that we can make a difference in the lives of our people. Because there's no reason why on any level that anybody from the Congo should be suffering with all the resources that are coming out of the Congo. At some point, I know that people may not like certain leaders there in Africa and their strategy and their style of doing what they do, but at some point, we might need to take extreme measures in order to save, our lives, save our legacy, and save the wealth and the legacy wealth that is there. we at some point we have to consider some extreme, measures in response to these extreme circumstances that we find there.
That's right, and I am especially grateful for what you guys are doing, just because my thing is community and building, and just hearing you talk once again, it shows us that we do have roots. We talk a lot about other groups coming in, and they're coming over here, they're making their money, they're taking care of their people here, they're also taking care of their people, to their country where they came from. And we as African Americans, we feel like we don't have an opportunity to do that because we came here in a way that most other people didn't. And so I'm from America, I'm from DC, I'm from Maryland, and that's it. My grandma's from here, my on both sides. And so we're not thinking globally and ancestrally. And so I really appreciate what you guys are doing, because you are opening, again, like you said, building a bridge, opening up a channel for that, and giving us a place and helping us really discover and be proud of our identity. We can work and use our resources and our knowledge here and help out our brothers and sisters, across the ocean. And so I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Can you talk a little bit about how to get involved in what you're doing for our listeners if they're interested in taking one of your courses or supporting in some other way?
Yeah, sure. You can easily go to my website, and that's www.platinumdynamicinstitute.com. And while on that, there's information. What I would suggest is just put in there, just leaving their email address and name. Mm-hmm. There's like some free lessons that I'm actually giving away, but that allows me to get you in the database, and I will contact you personally. The other, I don't mind saying, you can call 301-266-4532.
One more time.
301-266-4532. And I will personally answer that line, and I will speak to you. Again, we're going to be doing training. The objective is to have these workshops done on a monthly basis. Mm-hmm. Once participants are there, I hope that they're going to be motivated, inspired based on what they see, to want to come on board and become a Sankofa Business Alliance joint venture partner. Mm-hmm. And again, in being a partner, there's a lot of work that's already been done behind the scene, as we mentioned, but you will have total exposure to that in the first option to come on board and actually be a partner.
Right, I love that, and we definitely have to get you guys plugged into our Wednesday night. We have to have you come back and do another discussion on the show. But every Wednesday night we have the Health, Wealth, and Knowledge of Self workshop. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and we invite experts like yourself to come in and just share this information with our community, because without information we don't have anything, and I know you guys understand that. That's why you're doing what you're doing, and our efforts here are to really, really go hard at getting out into the community and just revealing these opportunities, because I want my people to think bigger. I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it. We have to think outside of what we can see. There's so much more. There's so much more support we can give, and also support that we can get to put ourselves in a better position. So I hope that we can talk a little bit more, maybe about partnering, having you guys come out every once in a while, and just being a gateway for you, because like I said, I love what you guys are doing, and I hope that we can expand your efforts by sending people your way.
Very good. And thank you so much. Also, we are very, very happy, and like we said, we will be building a new story, because even when you are saying about how you people, our ancestors came in this country, but there is something they didn't say or they're not saying. There are also white people who came in this country as slaves.
Yeah.
They came in cargo containers, and sometimes naked. There are proof of it. They don't say about it, and that's the past. We try to build the future, a positive future, because for us, like I said, we take you, our brothers and sisters who came in the U.S. as Joseph. And also, let me say that most of them didn't come as slaves. They came even before that time.
That's right.
If you consider the studies which has been done, 95% of the black who came in the U.S., they didn't come as slaves. They just came. It's like maybe 5%, just 5% of the black who came in the U.S. came as slaves. They came before the slavery time.
That's right.
The people who brought Christopher Columbus on that land were slave African, were black people who came with them here to show him the land. He didn't know the way. And that's also some part of the story which they don't tell our brothers and sisters. They don't tell our friends. That's why what I told at the beginning, it's a software they put on the mind of people for an outcome which were expected in order for people to show the black picture of Africa and African Americans. But I'm telling you, it's not the truth. Today, we need to work together to build our story. And our story is like we belong to the first land of the world, which is Africa. And if you do or see all the new studies, mathematics or all those science came from Africa. And today you have the computers we are using everywhere in the world. In order for them to make it, you have the content coming from there. Now, let us work together. Let us work as partners so that we can do a lot of things on the line. I will give you some examples. We created in the Congo what we call the US DRC Chamber of Commerce. Now, the members of the DRC Chamber of Commerce are business people. One of the members has 500,000 acres of land on the ocean, Atlantic Ocean. Now, if you fly from his land, you come to the US, you are going straight to Miami. Just having a resort, which at the Atlantic Ocean on that land, when you are tired, you fly from that land straight to Miami. Or when you are tired in Miami, you fly straight to the Congo. We have a lot of resources where with less money, a lot of friends and brothers and sisters of the African descent in the US can become millionaire. And I'm telling myself that with all the infrastructures we have, financially structure, all the resources, we can build in the US, in the Congo, and in the Congo, 20 millionaires a year without a doubt. 20 millionaires a year without a doubt, because you know the price of gold. You just come with less money to invest in a gold mine. Guess what you're going to be getting out of it? You know the price of the product, agricultural product. People in the Congo have a lot of land. You just bring a lot of money for machineries. Guess what, when we're going to be producing and doing the processing? And the Congo has one of the biggest river in the world. Guess what, bringing those big boats doing fishing on the lake, on the ocean. It's like there is an opportunity there, or there are a lot of opportunities there. Please, my brothers and sisters, come and join us, and together we can build Africa and the Congo, and we can play a win-win game.
I love it, and I have to say this. You know, we're on a platform where we're going to be giving out a lot of valuable and useful information. The saddest part, most of our listeners aren't going to do anything about it. I don't want you guys who are listening now to be one of those people. Take advantage of it. Come down tonight. I know I am going to take it upon myself. We're going to be launching E-Life Media documentaries. We'll have to, talk about that. But I mean, just being able to capture what you're talking about on film, on audio, to do that, that's what we have to do to keep growing. And so, we'll talk about it. Dr. Rook, let me know if that's okay. We're going to be headed to the Congo, because it's important. We have to do it. We have the equipment, we have to do it. We have to use what did James Brown say? What was it again? Use what you got to give. Thank you. Yes, that. We have to do that.
We're going to get that quote. No, I agree with you, and I look forward to it. I didn't. Did you want to give us contact information, Father John Claude?
Yes, myself, like I said, I'm the president of Jatukic Providence Group, LLC, and my cell phone number is 301-768-1399. And my office is not far. It's just at College Park, not far from the University of Maryland. And some of you who like to come and meet with us, and we are ready to talk to you and discuss with you. And we receive a lot of officials. Sometimes we have governors of African countries coming, and we have ministers. We just help to build infrastructures, and we have resources in order for us to help the people of the U.S. and the people of Africa. And really, we need to be in a big team, a big network, so that we can make a big difference. Again, my phone number is 301-768-1399, 301-768-1399. Thank you so much.
Great. And we look forward to having a think tank. We'd love to host a think tank. We'd love to be able to make that part of that documentary the documentary series that Chris just launched.
Yes, it's official. It's done.
And
look, I just did the website while we were changing the screen.
There we go. and something else, I think it would be good, you know, because we have the dignitaries that come into town and they go to the big time hotels, you know, and I think it's important for, you know, you to know your connection to me, and likewise me to convey mine to you, that, you know, I want to make sure that you understand my interest in that land, my interest in that country, my genuine interest in making a positive difference. Right. Let's start bringing the dignitaries here, because you know what? The film crews and everybody's going to come here right behind them, and all of a sudden it's going to make us increase, and it's just going to do positive things for us across the board.
That's right.
As we support one another, as we collaborate with one another. So we're very thankful that you two were able to come in today. We've got Father John Claude and Brother Ronnie Lucas, who are here today sharing with us work that they're doing here in America, and work that's being done there on the continent, specifically in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And I can't help but think about a brother who I learned about many, many moons ago, and I look forward to, you know, doing more research on Patrice Lumumba and the great work that he was responsible for doing, and of course, the atrocity that was done against him, and even his assassination at the end, which, you know, there are those of us who know and believe that it was done at the hands of the United States of America. And we look forward to, you know, again, righting these wrongs and beginning to right the direction of the course of these countries economically, you know, spiritually, you know, culturally. You know, we have to recover and maintain the culture of the Congo. We don't want the Congo, you know, to become New York City. You know, God forbid that we recreate America there in the Congo. You know, it's such a precious place with precious culture and energy and food, and, you know, there's so many things that we want to maintain there, and hopefully we're able to do that. But again, I want to thank you all for coming in today. We appreciate you all for sharing with us what you have. We look forward to you all coming back. And like Chris was saying, being a part of the Wednesday night Health, Wealth, and Knowledge of Self series, so that we can inform people about what's going on outside of the DMV.
That's right. That's right. And as he just mentioned, that series is tonight. It's every Wednesday starting at 7 p.m. I'm going to be the presenter for tonight. I'm very excited about it because I get to share with you strategies for not working for free in 2017. We can't do it anymore, guys. So come on out for that. Also, this Saturday, we have the Solstice Shopping Bazaar. If you're looking for gifts and things, last-minute holiday items that you want to pick up, this is the place to be. We're going to be here. Again, give me the time. I have my glasses off again.
It's from noon, I believe we're noon to 5, noon to 6.
Noon to 5, you know, something like that. We'll be around. Great shopping. If you weren't here before, there are pictures online, so you can just get a sneak peek of some of the exciting things. I've seen people comment on my timeline just asking for and looking for the products that we had last time. So we're happy to have that opportunity for them to come out this Saturday to get those things. So that's it for today, guys. I just thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Eat Life Power Lunch with Dr. Baruch and Chris Murray. Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
That was great. Yeah. That was wonderful. And I'm so serious about that. We have to. Those stories, this information is